No, my first question, I guess I just got to break them down, and what I did was a compound question. Is that what I just did by answering a
Yeah,
bunch? Okay, so
asking more
I'll
than
try
one
and avoid
question,
those.
one at a time.
I'll try and okay. Is John your client?
Not right now.
So the fact that he was, you were alluding to at one point, he was, so you can't speak without his permission, right?
On some level. So, like, I know that you're referring to, let's say, the Anne Marie issue where
No,
you
no,
said, "Hey,
I purposely didn't want to bring her up.
okay," but look, let's get to it. You said, "Well, Vince, if you're not representing John, how can you speak with Anne Marie? How can you speak about the Anne Marie
Yeah.
subject?"
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
I get
question.
what you were saying, and yeah, I mean, an attorney can disclose information that's not relating to the specific conversation I have with John. I don't believe, or I don't even want to get into like what I spoke with John because I can't. But when I can, when I
Why,
make it,
why, why can't you? Did he pay you?
that's the thing. Again, remember that just because someone pays you or retains you doesn't mean that there's not a privilege. So, like, there's a few things that I would like to speak about, but on some level I can't.
But
But
talk to me because I'm retarded and started at little increments. Did he ever
right
pay you
for I couldn't even say
anything
that, Casey. I couldn't say that. Non legally, no, he's never paid me for anything.
non-legally? So he
Because
might
like
have paid some kind of legal fee.
right.
Okay. Has John ever admitted he lied about something, and what was it? Now, you said that even if it's pro bono and he didn't pay you, you can't answer that.
If but only if it's in a legal context, right? Okay, so if he lied to me about something other than what you really want to know is the Anne Marie shit.
I don't give a
Uh,
fuck about that.
okay, all right. So is there anything else? I don't think John's ever really lied to me about something significant. What John used to do, Casey, when I was working with him initially, this is like 5 years ago, was I had access to all his username and passwords. And I was working on the channel, getting it cleaned up, things like that. And whenever he got mad at me, he would change the password. So I
Yeah.
could be literally working on the YouTube channel, and if I didn't answer him quick enough, things like that, he would change the password on me. And I said, dude, if you do it one more time, I'm done. And he finally did it one more time, and I was done.
Okay. Well, I guess what I meant was I didn't have anything specific in mind, but maybe you can take what we just talked about and bring it into this Tukey and this video that he claims he has the copyright for, and what happened with that whole thing. Maybe you can shed some light on it.
Yeah, so I think you're referring to when John's kids gave a speech at the wedding between Aaron and Susanna, John's ex-wife, and her new half black husband.
Right.
And I don't know if there's such a big deal about it. Sure, whoever owns that video can claim that they own the copyright, but does the person that's using it do it in a manner that's considered fair use? So just because you own the copyright, it doesn't mean that someone can't display it.
John is not a good person. I don't believe it when you said you think he's a good person or he's an honest person. He's definitely not. What do you get from being around John? I know you might think he's funny to the way he lives his life, but what is it? What is it that makes you want to be around this person?
It's not so much that I want to be around him. I think he's fucking entertaining. I really do. And I believe, Casey, that just because the way he was raised produced what he is today, I don't believe fundamentally he is an evil person. I don't believe he's a criminal that's going to repeat crimes 100 times. I always say this, that you have to size people up. Either someone has committed one crime or 100 crimes, meaning a constant criminal will continue to commit crimes. And you got to determine who this person is. Every one of us has done something that's quote unquote criminal. Okay. It's, can you learn from that?
Or do they
Right.
feel
So
bad about it?
yeah, so like again, like let's just say that Coach Armstrong physically abused you. If Coach abused you and you came out to be a narcissist, should I treat you differently because of something that you couldn't control, who your parents were?
No.
Yeah, so that's the way I feel about John, and it's not an excuse, and uh, it doesn't make me say his behavior is fine, and certain things I don't agree with, and I tell him that. But I like him, Casey. I do. I understand that I can only get you. Any person can only get so close to someone that has that personality disorder, right? But it wasn't John's fault that he was physically abused.
Yeah, but hasn't everybody been through some bullshit in their life that isn't fun or affects them in a negative way? And why is that an excuse?
Yeah, you're right. Just to a certain extent, you're right. But things that he has, it's pervasive, meaning that it really will never change. So the John that you knew back at K Rock is the John that you know today.
Same guy.
Yeah, and that's like their characters. And I'm not claiming John's a narcissist, but
I am.
if he was, he would have the same characteristics. They would be very distinct and be very predictable. But he also can't control it.
Hey, Vince, do you like Shuli? Who do you let's start. First
Start
question. We're
there.
not doing
Yeah.
compound
Do I
question.
like? No. Yeah, I like Shuli. Shuli and I have been friends for the long, like real friends, not bullshit friends. But you hear on my show, I'm very critical of his work that I don't like, but I like him.
Vince, who do you respect most in the Dabbleverse?
Bob Levy.
Why?
He's got such a great ability to perform. And Casey, you know this better than I would. Now, when we both were at the Potsdam debacle, the show that Shuli ran, when you see the level of comedic ability
Oh,
and even from a technical standpoint, I never realized how amazing Bob
no,
was.
Vince. Nobody will follow him. Nobody.
I
I
don't
mean,
blame him.
not even Jim Norton, and he said it.
Oh, fuck Jim Norton. I mean, compared to almost every comedian that I've ever seen perform, I could not believe how amazing this guy
Bob is a
was.
beast. He is an animal. He is the best. And my best jokes are the ones he gave me 10 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you respect Phil?
Yes.
Were you really feeling physically threatened by him when he said he would fucking drive to New York City?
Yes.
Okay. I got it. Everybody understands.